Number 6, oh my goodness, this one. Leaders who are gullible. Leaders who cannot see for themselves. Leaders who, you know what's sad? I'll never forget, there was a young woman who joined the ministry. She was brand new, and we were having like a new members meeting with her. And as we all sat, it was a very small group of leaders. It was me, the pastor was there, she was there was other people there as well, like 2 other people. And I remember one of the things she said was, oh man, like, she told a story and she's like, oh, the pastor is so gullible. And what's interesting is that it didn't take a week or two for this person to realize how gullible the leader was. And it's really sad because when you're gullible as a leader and you can only see from the lens of what people tell you, and you will be easily manipulated. I've seen this happen so much. I was in a position where I feel like I wasn't protected at some point. And there are some amazing leaders too, in some of those ministries where, who you could see they're walking with Christ, but I feel like they were overpowered. Spirits infiltrate the church. Spirit have come, the spirit of anger. All these spirits will infiltrate, and the leader is not in a position to even see in the spiritual realm. When you're gullible as a leader, it automatically means that you don't have spiritual sight for you to see to the scheme, for you to see to the demonic spirits coming into your church, for you to see which leader is operating under a certain vessel. And when you don't have the strength to stand against what you see or what's being told to you, or you're being manipulated by other leaders who are also operating under certain demonic spirits, it's almost like you can't see for yourself. How can you stand up to protect the people that you're looking over if for yourself you can't even see what's going on? So when you cannot afford to have a leader who is gullible. You cannot afford to have a leader who cannot see for themselves, like, this what's going on. Let me put a stop to this. Let me speak to this. Let me fix this situation. It's important. But I also think we have a role to play too, especially if you have a gift of discernment, or you have the gift of sight, or you are a prophet, or you are a seer, whatever it may be, for you to speak up. Because sometimes when someone may not be able to see, maybe that's not their gift, it's your job to express what you see. And I can honestly admit that there's things that I saw that I should have expressed. I should have expressed them, because that would have opened up the door to really cast out those spirits that were operating in certain ministries or certain places or organizations. So it's so important to have that. But as a leader, it's important for you to really be able to see what's going on in the ministry, because you won't be protected as a person if your leader cannot see. Now, any lie that is said against you, they will believe it. Any false accusation against you, they'll believe it, because they cannot see truly and honestly what's going on. Which really goes with number 7 and 8, which is a leader who is mostly led by friends more than God. Like what people tell them, what other church members tells them, it's like they would listen to that more than them being able to see for themselves, because that's dangerous too. Because let's just say you have 2-3 leaders who have conspired against a church member, and they go to the main leader, and they go to a leader and they're expressing, okay, this person did this, and they're lying, or they're assassinating this person's character, or they're doing whatever it is, and the leader don't have their own sight to see. They can't see the leaders. They can't see the members for themselves. They cannot see for themselves. And all you do is believe what's being told to you without evaluating for yourself. That's dangerous. And number 8 is leaders who cannot see you the way God sees you, because they themselves, they're possessed by demons. And one of the ways that you'll know is if you're really walking with God. You are walking with the light of the Holy Spirit. You have the fruit of the Spirit. You are serving like you're meant to. And I'm speaking from experience, because I remember being in a space where I would be in places where you are operating, you give your all, you gave everything. And sometimes people can't see that. The light within you will frustrate the demon within them. And now there starts being a casting, like you feel like you're an outcast. It's very important for you to choose a place where your gifting and who you are is well received. Your personality, your gifting, all the things that God made you, the package in which God made you, can be well received. Because the last thing you want to be is to be in a place where you are operating with authenticity, you are serving with authenticity, you have the fruit of the Spirit, you have all the right intentions, but then the people around you who may not necessarily be operating with the Holy Spirit within them, unknowingly, because they have open doors, they can't see you for who you are. That is the worst place to be, is to be in a place where your gifts are not well received. Who you are is not well received, right? You will never be able to thrive in a place like that. Your relationships won't be able to thrive in your place like that. Your children won't be able to thrive. Those things will suffocate everything that has to do with you. Okay? So what I've shared regarding a leader who's gullible, it really goes hand in hand with number 7 and 8, which is being led by others, being led by friends versus going based on what God shows them for themselves. And also too, because that's going to influence number 8, which is they're not going to be able to see you as God sees you. They're going to see a whole different version of you. It's very difficult for you to be in a place for you to serve and for you to give and for you to show up with your husband and your family and your children when who you are is not really understood or seen. Okay. Number 9, you don't want to be under a leader with open doors. Okay. We're going to make this very quick. That could look like a leader who consistently lies, a leader who is struggling with pornography, a leader who has lustful eyes. They're married or in a relationship, but they have eyes on anything with a skirt, which makes their partners very uncomfortable. Any small sin that is not repented will keep the door open. And guess who's going to be impacted? You. A leader who's not covered, who have uncovered themselves because of their own sin, is a leader who becomes a vessel for the enemy, and a vessel for the enemy cannot pour into you, cannot pour into the situation you're going through, cannot give you the word. Like, how can they hear from the Holy Spirit if they're being influenced by demonic spirits because they have left the door open? Run. Who? And number 10, this one is dangerous. A woman or man, married or single, who operate by taking matters into their own hands, willing to assassinate someone's character at the expense of their own desires. People who are willing to assassinate your character for their own selfish gain, you want to run away from those people, because there's nothing they won't say, there's nothing they won't do, because again, these people will not be able to really cover you if all they're looking out for is themselves. I wanted to share this list with you, and I want you to think about it. I want you to look at your leaders and weigh them against this list, because the word says we need to test every spirit. Test every spirit. And also, it's very clear. The word makes it clear to us as to the qualities that we need to possess, right? The fruit of the spirit, they're here for a reason. When you look at your leader, they won't be perfect. Okay? You need to be praying for them. You need to be also weighing them to see, okay, is this someone who's working on these things, or is this someone who is consistently operating in dysfunction? So I want you to weigh everything I've shared with you, weigh your leaders, but also weigh yourself. Do you operate with those things? And if you do, I invite you to take a moment and really be honest with yourself. And the goal of me sharing this list is not to allow you to just screen your leaders and weigh yourself upon it, but I also want to give you tools and strategies on how to break free, because those things will impact the health of your marriage, the health of your relationships, because the moment you start operating with those things, it's going to impact the person in your life, it's going to impact your husband, it's going to create separation, it's going to create division, it's going to create misunderstanding. And when those spirits start manifesting itself in your home, in your dating experiences, in your relationship within yourself, that's what causes you to not be able to have the peace of mind. That's what causes you to fail in the things that you try to put your hand on, because those spirits, they're literally in you or trying to infiltrate you or influence you, and it's going to lead you astray, right? So stay tuned. I invite you to watch the next video on the screen and tap into the tools and strategies I'm going to share with you to break free so that you can experience success both emotionally and spiritually. I invite you to subscribe. God bless you. Until next time.